Hey everybody, Billboard Chart Guy here. Welcome to the latest episode of BBCG and Friends. And I'm very pleased to have PRC Coleman with me. PRC, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. And how was your trip back home to Indiana after your KMS appearance? Everything go smoothly?
It went pretty smooth until I got the GPS took me on this weird route through Cleveland,
Okay.
and then up to Toledo, and I got stuck in like an air show in Cleveland,
Oh, so more traffic than
and the traffic
anticipated.
really sucked there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but other than
Um,
that, it was pretty smooth.
good. Well, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. I This will be a lot easier than your KMS appearance. No, no big reveals on this one. Just want to know about the musical
Right.
history. So I know you're, like I said, you're in Indiana, and how old are you? Just so I could kind of gauge musically where you could be.
I am 41.
Okay. Perfect. So what is that? 19. Yeah. So you were born in the 80s then.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So tell us about growing up. Now, were you born and raised in Indiana?
Yeah, I was born in southern Indiana, and I lived there till about 6 or 7, and I moved up to the suburbs of like Indianapolis then.
Got it. Okay. So tell us about growing up in Indiana and some of your early musical memories.
So, like when I was a kid till I moved up to the suburbs, we really didn't have a lot because my parents were still in college then, and
Okay.
so there wasn't a whole lot of music. But my mom has kind of been a hippie her whole life, so she was in a folk band and she plays drums, banjo, guitar, piano, a whole bunch of instruments. So when I was a real young child, it was a lot of her playing stuff because she's
Okay.
always been in. I don't even know how to describe it. It would be like a folk cover band and stuff. They played a lot of like Simon and Garfunkel and a ton of James Taylor stuff. And so that was a big thing.
Okay.
Um, when I moved to the suburbs and we kind of got more money and kind of got more music going and stuff like that, my mom was still into a lot of the James Taylor, Big John Mellencamp. My dad was Big John Mellencamp. My dad was also a huge Leonard Skinner fan,
Hmm.
and I remember Leonard Skinner probably being one of the first bands that really kind of resonated with me. It was like, wow, they're really, really good.
Um, did your folks um, have a like a turntable, or was it CDs at that point? What were you listening to your music on
At
at home?
that point, it was they did have a turntable and they had tapes. So
Okay.
it was a big tape thing. Some of my earliest memories were, on like the old tape players, you could listen to the radio and kind of record the songs on tapes and stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, my biggest memories from a child were like listening to this radio station in Indy called WZPL and getting their top 5 songs. They did it every night at 9 o'clock and just kind of making a mixtape out of those, and then walking around listening to the mixtape all day.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, like kind of waiting for the song you wanted to record to pop up so you could capture it on a cassette tape. Yep, absolutely. Um, Very cool. So, being from Indiana, Mellencamp obviously is a god out there. He's also my wife's favorite artist of all time. Um, he he's quite the character. You know, he certainly doesn't play by the rules. I like the fact that he just when he tours, it's not just the greatest hits. He kind of gives, if he puts out a new album, he's going to play a few songs from that new album, and then at the end of the show, he'll kind of run down the greatest hits. Have you seen Mellencamp live?
A few times, yeah. I
Yeah.
saw him Farm Aid at Deer Creek, it was called. Um, I've seen him in Bloomington a couple times. My mom is kind of she's an author, so she kind
Okay.
of runs in those circles. So I've actually met him a few times down in Seymour and Bloomington and stuff. So she was kind of promoting. I don't know if you remember, but he was on this big art kick. He was an artist for a while.
Yes. Yeah. A
Uh,
lot of paintings. Yes.
yeah. So my mom was writing stories about him and stuff like that when he was doing his art kick.
So tell me about your encounter with him. How was it? Just a hey, nice to meet you kind of thing, or did you get to chat him up a little bit?
I wish the times I met him, I was a little bit older and I could actually chat him up about the stuff that kind of resonates with me now.
Right.
Because when I was a kid, my grandparents they lost their farm down near Edinburgh, and
Wow.
had to move and stuff like that. And then Rain on the Scarecrow. He part of one of those scenes is at the church my grandparents used to go to, and like I could name you every place that's in that video, and it's like,
Wow.
yeah, it's really. I wish I could have chatted with him. I wish I was a little bit older and I could chat it with him about that stuff, because all I remember from meeting him when I was a kid was him and my mom talking a lot, and the fact that he is a chain smoker, like a chain smoker.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've seen him. My wife, like I said, my wife loves him, so I've probably seen him with her 3 or 4 times, and even during the shows, he just does not stop. It's
Oh yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I remember him from as a kid was like when one went out, one went back in his mouth. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me change the order of this show because we're talking about Mellencamp now. Why don't you give me PRC's Mount Rushmore of Mellencamp songs?
Okay, is that four? Is there four
That
on Mount Rushmore?
that's four, yes.
Okay. um, Pink
Threw a curveball.
Houses,
Yep, Pink Houses, yep.
Pink Houses, Rain on the Scarecrow, and that's probably my
Hmm.
number one of all
Right.
time of his. Just because there's so much that resonates with me, and I just like the whole. I like it musically, I like it lyrically, I like everything about it.
Hmm.
Um, and I got to put Small Town on there just because being from Indiana,
Yeah.
there's sometimes you're just driving through a cornfield and you put that on and it brings a certain emotion to you. And
Yeah.
my fourth, not going to be Jack and Diane. Um, just from a lyrical standpoint, I think Cherry Bomb.
Ah, okay. That's a good 4 pack. So Cherry Bomb is my favorite
Okay.
Mellencamp song. I also like Crumbling Down.
Yeah.
Um, I like
Paper and Fire is a good one.
Paper and Fire's a good one. No, I'm just Rumble Seat. I was just trying
Okay.
to remember the title. Yeah, yeah. He's great. He's great. And um, like I said, lucky to have seen him a few times for sure. Um, and it's interesting you mentioned Leonard Skinnard earlier. I think I've said this maybe in an early episode, but the song "Gimme 3 Steps" by Leonard Skinnard is my go-to karaoke song.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I can hit that one really well. Of course, I need about three. And by the way, 3 beers now gets me drunk. I was at a concert on Friday night, and 3 beers, and I was pretty loaded. So I'm a cheap date.
Is that your favorite song by Leonard Skinner too?
I I think it is. Yeah, yeah. What's your name, little
Oh,
girl? I like that one too.
okay.
Not Freebird so much, but that's Freebird's kind of in the kind of Stairway to Heaven category of songs. That's just they've always been there. But some of the other Leonard Skinner songs I really enjoy. Um, what was when you got a little older? What was your first CD you bought? You went out and bought for yourself, or you went to the record store with the intention you needed to have that album or CD or cassette.
Okay. Yeah. First, one more thing about Leonard Skinner.
Oh, sure.
I think Freebird, it has transcended into, one of those rock anthems like Stairway to Heaven, but it is a beautifully composed piece of music, and if it didn't gain such a popularity and notoriety, I think it should always be remembered as an amazing song first and foremost.
Okay. Do you play any musical instruments?
Yeah, I play the piano and the guitar, and I used to play the stand-up bass, but I haven't played that in a long time.
And growing up, or now, or whenever, were you ever in a band?
No, I was a songwriter for a band in middle school and high school.
Okay. What types of songs were you writing?
They were alternative rock.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of the time period when I was grunge rock was a big thing. The jeans with the big metal chains and the Vans and all that stuff. So that was kind of the thing of the time.
Got it. So like Pearl Jam ish, Soundgarden ish.
Yeah, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. Chris Cornell is probably one of my favorite vocalists of all time.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
My God. You've obviously heard the Sinead O'Connor
I was
cover.
just going to say that. The Nothing Compares
to
You. Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. And then, I liked Pearl Jam. I think Chris Cornell is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. But if you listen to Pearl Jam Unplugged on MTV,
yeah,
the emotion that he puts into the end of Black is probably one of my favorite 30 seconds of music history.
Wow. Okay. I remember it clearly, but I don't specifically remember how that song ended. I need to check that out.
When it gets into I know someday you'll have a beautiful life. It's incredible.
Yeah. Emotionally, he writes some very emotional songs. I was actually driving an elderly woman, what is that song? Elderly woman at a convenience store, or I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it came on the other day and I'm like, oh my God, this song is so emotional. And as you get older, it's even more emotional.
When I was a kid, I used to style my hair like the guy in Jeremy.
Okay. The kid.
Yeah, because everybody kind of told me I kind of looked like him, so I kind of went for that and did the middle part and all that stuff. So
hopefully you didn't behave like
no. Now that I'm older, I kind of didn't get the it was more the aesthetics part, but
got it. So PRC, tell me about your first album. What did you go out and buy?
The first albums I remember buying were Dave Matthews, Under the Table and Dreaming.
Okay.
Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, and Outkast, Aquemini.
So Rage, and then Alec. Boy, that's some variety.
Yeah, I've always never tried to put myself in any genre or types of music. I just whatever feels good to me, whatever I like, I kind of just go for it and listen to it. And I kind of got something from all those. I think if I had to pick one, Aquemini was probably the one that stuck with me the most. But Dave was fun, and there's a big outdoor music place called Deer Creek that I used to live by, and some of my most fun concerts were just getting really high and listening to Dave on like a Friday night, in the middle of the cornfields.
Yeah, I remember when that album came out. At that point, I was a big I was more into jam bands than I currently am. I mean, I like the genre, but I was very much into the Dead, and but I also was into Blues Traveler. And and their first few records had come out, and John Popper plays on Under the Table and Dreaming. On what would you say? He plays the harmonica on that tune, and so that connection with Popper immediately got me into DMB, and I probably probably bought the first 3 or 4 albums, and we saw them, my wife and I, probably 4 times, I would say, over the years, and always a fun show. He does some interesting covers along the way, and yeah, really interesting. I never saw Rage. Tom Morello came on my radar when he toured with Springsteen.
Okay.
Uh, he did a short tour with them in 2014, January through May, or February through May of that year. Um, and he does an amazing cover, or Rage actually does an amazing cover of The Ghost of Tom Joad.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, really good. And so when Morello was on the tour with Springsteen, Bruce let him have the solo. And, the first time you heard that, it was like, what the? It was unbelievable the way he plays. It's so unique. Very, very. His style is just, it's, I don't know, so engaging.
He
And
turns the guitar into a multitude of different instruments. Like
yes, he
in one
does.
second it can be a guitar, and the next second it's a turntable. It's
Yeah,
very
he's
unique to
scratching.
see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so have you seen either Rage or Outkast live?
No, and I wish I have. They just haven't came to Indianapolis, I don't think, in a while. So
Right, and both bands are kind of Outkast. It's been a long time, and Rage did a brief reunion tour a few years ago, but that didn't stick, unfortunately. What was your first concert? Who did you see growing up?
my very first concert was Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay.
And that again was at Deer Creek. My parents took me. I think they were big Hootie fans, but they were like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I had listened to Cracker Review, and it's good. And like you're speaking of karaoke songs, my go-to is "Let Her Cry," just because
Okay.
it's pretty easy for me to get done. I can make my voice do that, so it's kind of my go-to. The lyrics aren't hard. It's not, it's pretty simple.
Right.
Weird story about that. I actually met Hootie and the Blowfish and got their autograph before the concert too, at because they were doing an appearance at this restaurant. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it was Dick Clark's American Grill.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so Dick Clark had it was his answer to like Planet Hollywood and like Hard Rock Cafe. Is he had these restaurants called, I think it was Dick Clark's American Bandstand Grill. So
Okay.
they had one about 10, 15 minutes from my house, and they were signing autographs. So my parents took me there, and I he autographed my hat. I don't know why I had him autograph a hat, but he just autographed my hat. It was pretty cool. The restaurant was not great, but it was a cool
Right.
experience.
They had an unbelievable run in the mid to late '90s, but then they kind of went away as quickly as they appeared. I know that Darius Rucker has had a successful country career, but yeah, they were huge. I would almost compare them to like Huey Lewis and the News in the '80s. They were
Mm-hmm.
there and just ruled the charts, and then kind of went away. But I never got to see them.
It was a pretty good concert. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. And who have you seen most recently? What's your most recent show you've seen?
Oh, I got a bad one.
All right, tell me.
I went to a Bob Dylan concert a few years back, and it was just it wasn't good at all. He's kind of lost his touch. I mean, obviously he's aged and stuff like that, but it was just not fantastic.
Where was that? Yeah, out by you?
Yeah, it was out by me.
And was it part of the Outlaw Festival with Willie Nelson, or was it a solo Dylan
No,
show?
I think it was. I can't even remember, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
just remember the experience. It was at the Marat, and it was I think it was just him, to be honest with you.
Yes. Yeah, so we've had a couple of people. I think Darren Cunningham was on the show, and he said the first time he saw him, it was amazing, and then the next one or two times, he did not like it. I've only seen him once, and I kind of fall into that camp. You know, the songs were unrecognizable from the albums. No engagement with the audience, but that's him. And it's, you know, it's too bad that, you know, there's definitely fans of him live still. You know, he pops up in my Twitter feed all the time doing shows, and I see a lot of positive feedback. But then, you know, I just I see other people and hear other people like yourself, and it's like, what the hell is this? You know, I mean, it was to me, I kind of felt the same way. It was a bit of a mess, the show that I saw. But I wanted to check it off my to-do list, you know, my
Exactly.
musical to-do list. So you got to see Dylan. Interesting. So did you said you went to a farm aid. That at that Deer Creek
Yeah.
facility? Yeah. What year was that?
It was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So that obviously, well, was Dylan involved, or was it just Neil Young, Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp? Was Dave Matthews involved at that point yet?
no, this was like early 90s. I was young.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who's in it. Willie Nelson was there. I know that. I want to say Guns N' Roses.
You know what? I just pulled it up. It looks like it was 1990.
Okay, yeah. And it was at
Well,
the one at Deer Creek. It was at like the Hoosier Dome, I think.
okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was Guns N' Roses was there. I think because Axl Rose is from Indiana.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
I was like 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. Do you remember? Did Guns N' Roses make any impact on you?
They have later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
seen them since you got older?
No.
No.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they first came out, I wasn't into that type of hard rock. And then time went on, they broke up, and they've been back together for like, what is it, 7 or 8 years now, and they tour all the time, it seems like, but I just never made my way to another show. Where is he from in Indiana, Axel? Is that anywhere near
West
where you grew up?
Lafayette, I believe.
West
That's
Lafayette.
about an hour northwest.
Mm-hmm.
It's home of Purdue.
Got it. That's right. The Boilermakers. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess technically Farm Aid would have been my first concert, but really my first concert was Hootie and the Blowfish.
Right.
Yeah.
And what do you have, like a favorite concert or a most memorable show? Whether it was the act, the artist, the music, or something happened? Was there a favorite of yours?
I do. So this was sophomore year, junior year in college. The big song at the time was "Through the Wire" by Kanye West.
Okay.
And that was like the only song that had come out. It was the big song. And then he did another song with this band called Dilated Peoples, and the song was called "This Way." and that song like took off. That was like the song of the summer. Everybody loved it and stuff like that. So my friend said he had tickets to Dilated Peoples, and they were actually playing at this tiny place called the Egyptian Room in Indianapolis, which is inside a theater. It's like a smaller little venue inside a theater. It's like a wedding hall almost. Is what it feels like, what it looks like.
Okay.
And so we went to that concert, and so Dilated Peoples was the headliner. But obviously, I mean, we'll see how history played out in that one. But Kanye West opened for him. But then when Kanye was about to perform, he said he had a friend from Chicago that he'd like to bring out to play a few songs for us. And it turned out to be John Legend.
Wow.
So I got to see John Legend and Kanye in a very, very intimate, tiny room in Indianapolis.
And was John Legend famous at that point?
No, I don't think he was. I think that's why he said he brought him out. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, so that's really like my most memorable concert experience.
And to see them in such a tiny venue must have been incredible.
Yeah, and then one of my favorite Kanye albums is The College Dropout, and that's pretty much all he had at that point. So he really because hit all the good songs from College Dropout, and it was a great concert. But another one of my worst concerts, if you have a second.
Please.
Like it was probably 10, 15 years ago, I saw 311.
Okay.
At this place called White River State Park in Indianapolis. And they had a new album that had just come out. And they just played that album from top track to bottom. And it wasn't a very good album. They didn't play any of their hits, did not care whatsoever, just went straight through. No emotion. And that's up there with Bob Dylan as one of my least favorite experiences.
Do you remember what their kind of popular songs were? Because I know the band's names.
Down was the big one.
Yes. Okay.
Amber was another big one for him.
Okay.
The the Down love song. Whenever I'm alone, it's the Cure cover.
That's a Cure song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Cure cover. But they do a really good job.
I got to check that out. I love that song.
They did All Mixed Up was another one that it was on their self-titled, where it's like all mixed up, don't know what to do. Next thing you turn around and find the person is you. Kind of like a reggae vibe. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Like that they just kind of went through the motions and kind of left you not with a fuzzy, warm feeling about the show, huh?
Yeah, it's just Like I know you don't have. I know they tour so much and they're going through all this stuff, and I get that, but you got to have a little bit of audience interaction, and you got to give the people a little bit. You don't have to play all those top songs, but maybe if you're going to have an encore, bring out everybody. If you're 311, I think you have to include Down.
I would think so. At this point, yeah. Absolutely. Let me change the subject real quick and tell me about your work on Substack. I know Mr. Mutnansky is a big fan of your work. I read your most recent piece where you compared what do you call it? Quarterbacks to food at what do you call it? Tailgates, yes.
Yeah.
Which I found very amusing. How often are you writing, and how long have you been doing it? And let us know the link that we could subscribe.
Yeah, like I've been writing my whole life. Like as I said, like my mom was a writer, and I have a master's in creative writing from Butler, so it's always been a thing in my life. I've been blogging my whole life. I used to own contrary to popular belief, I did not make money doing the Indian, selling TV to Indians like they've been talking about on the show and stuff. I actually had a social media company, and we did a lot of blogging and SEO for companies and stuff like that. So I've kind of always been blogging my whole life. Never really been blogging. I wrote short stories for fun, and I used to write a lot of poems for fun. But I haven't really done any blogs about stuff like I'm really interested in. I've mainly been doing it for business and stuff like that. So this is the first time that I really got to write about stuff I like, it, which is food and primarily fast food. So it's pretty cool.
That's great. Have you? I know you said you've written short stories and poems. Have you thought about some sort of book or novel or taking it any further, or you're just kind of playing it day by day on that kind of project?
I've always just kind of done them for my own catharticism, I guess you'd put it as.
Right.
Just kind of get stuff out of my head and talk about stuff. My mom writes books, and I've seen all the stuff that you have to go through to get them published and all that stuff. I'd rather just write to write.
Yeah. Good. Well, it's kind of a release for you, right? Just to kind of get it out, and good. Well, listen, this has been fun. I'm so glad we connected, and happy that you jumped on. I'm thrilled that you kind of become more active in the KMS miniverse. It's been fun getting to hear your stories, and obviously you're a passionate guy about music and everything. So I wanted to thank you for jumping on today. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been fun to just kind of talk music and everything like that. So it's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. And let me just quickly thank Kirk and the Minifan Network and my friend Menners for all his support. And thanks to everybody who listens. And we'll be seeing you down the line. Have a great day.
Thank you.